It's been a while. Been a couple weeks. Yeah. Check. Check, Mike. Check.
Check.
Yeah,
Bring
just
it
have
up
it
here.
chill in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Show me out on the mic.
you could probably bring it down a little bit. So it's not like covering your face. Like tilt it down.
Oh, the mic?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the cat. That's what I
No.
was like.
You can raise the cat up.
I was like,
Oh, this could be a really short episode if Butterfield gets hit with the allergies. This is the whole 15-minute.
We're just gonna slowly zoom in on your face the whole time.
What is it?
It's
Hitch?
progressively worse.
Mike is like, hey, guys, how's it going? 30 minutes later.
he's like crying.
Throat's locked up, eyes are swollen, tears flowing.
No, I'm
Good
fine.
Season 2, episode 9.
9 feels right.
I think it's
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Episode 9. How you feeling,
I'm
Megan?
feeling good.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Micah?
I'm feeling not as good as Megan, but I'm in good spirits.
we've got Megan here. Megan's on staff. She is part of the worship staff, and she has brought a
Edgar.
special guest. We talked about Edgar a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is like an animal episode. That's what
I
this
like
is.
Yeah,
And so we've got Edgar here, right?
here we are.
Oh.
Yeah.
This might be the most
She's like
special.
so scared.
Why is she scared? She's never
How
been
can
on a
you tell?
podcast.
You know, she's been on the Instagram Live.
Oh.
But
Oh yeah.
The special cat.
Does she have her own Instagram?
no, not. I wanted
so
to make
you don't
her.
really love your cat, is what I'm hearing you
I
say.
do, but I just haven't had time. You know, I was banking on. You know, I was like, maybe I can make a lot of money off her.
Right.
Get famous,
Yeah.
but
All right.
you know,
So
life happens.
so what is her name?
Her name is Edgar. You can call her Eddie, Edna, Egmarita. We call her whatever.
Egg Marita?
Yeah, you know, whatever. As long as it has Ed in front of it.
Egg Marita or
Yeah,
Ed?
Ed Marina.
Ed Marina.
Ed Marina.
Yeah. Ednita. She's like going crazy.
Yeah, she's not
Edgar's like,
excited.
this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Why are we just chilling?
Maybe I should have brought the carrier to like cut her in there, but I was like, you know,
No,
it's already
no.
a lot of pressure.
I think it's
for her.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I
get
think it's good.
canceled if we had her in a carrier.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Age.
Here, we'll
No.
just hold her like a little baby where she can't move.
Oh, she likes that.
She does. It makes her feel safe.
She's closing her eyes already. Dude, immediately she's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
Just looking at me.
basically the story of the Edgar, the name is I just wanted a cat named Edgar. I want a dog named Arnold and a cat named Edgar. And I went to this woman in Gaucher was selling the cats, and I was like, yeah, I need a boy. And she was like, well, we don't have any boys. And she was like, but you know, who will know? So,
Well, if you go on a podcast,
Everybody knows.
all of your friends will.
well, I think it's funnier now.
Yeah,
Absolutely
no,
it
it's
is.
great.
Yeah,
It's
it's part of
great.
the story.
What kind of cat is this?
It's a Scottish Straight. So usually the Scottish folds.
Hello.
Dude, I could feel it. As soon as she said Scottish, I could feel your energy. exactly. exactly.
That is a smidgen.
just Scottish smidgen.
I would like to think
Hello, Edgar.
if she could talk, I think she has an accent.
What does she sound like?
Hi, my name's Edgar.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I like that.
Because she's just a baby, so it's a little squeaky. you
Yeah,
know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Edgar eats better than me because Edgar won't eat like regular cat food. So I have
So
to.
you eat regular cat food?
Stop.
I will, though.
But I will admit that I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but
Oh
she was
gosh.
going crazy. I don't even want to tell
We'll
you.
bleep it out.
Yeah, we'll
she
cut
was
it.
going crazy one day over this treat, so I was like, well, does it really taste that good? So I did try it, and it was disgusting.
This is already an incredible episode.
Fancy feast ain't that fancy.
No, she won't eat fancy feast. She only eats raw, freeze dried chicken and
Megan, did you eat raw freeze-dried chicken?
no worse. I ate the little they're called the tiki cat sticks, like they like squeeze out. It just tastes like unseasoned chicken. But I was like, why are you going so crazy for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about this moment is I am allergic to cats. So this could be a beautiful moment.
I think y'all should swap seats.
Oh, no.
You
You live by faith?
Exactly.
Dude, speaking of something like that, I did watch a video a couple days ago of a pastor in like literally the hills of, I don't know, West Virginia or Kentucky or something like that, and they handle snakes, you know, and so like he's got this some sort of mountain rattlesnake thing, and he's like, you know, dancing on the stage with it and like hooting and hollering, and he gets really close to it and like holds it right to his face, and that thing coils up in his hand and goes and bites his ear. And so, and you could tell, like, as soon as the thing bit his ear, he was like,
I'm in danger.
well, but then he's like, I don't know what he said.
He
some
said,
sort
keep
of,
the music. Keep going.
oh, yeah. He's like,
keep going.
praise the Lord. He's our healer. And he's like yelling. And
He's like,
dude,
Jesus will heal my ear.
yeah. He's bleeding on his ear. It's like squirting. I mean, it got his ear. And then all of a sudden it edits to about 10 minutes later. And you could tell he's like sweating, starting to sweat. Like he's starting to feel bad. And then it fast forwards about the way that they do the jump cuts was fun. The next one, guys are holding him up on the stage, and he's like coughing, he like throws up.
Yeah,
dude.
No, I walk through the valley of shadow of death.
Yeah, it's bad. Then he ends up. Then the last picture is him in the ICU, intubated. Is both his eyes are like swollen shut, and I don't think he died. But his dad did die doing the same thing.
Oh,
He
come
should have
on.
known.
Should have.
Must be sin in the camp.
Must be sin.
Man.
You know?
It's the only
so
answer.
it's good. Let me hold Edgar up to my face
Okay.
and see if he bites me.
Dude, I hope.
Oh.
You can wiggle Edgar. She won't do anything. Like you know, like if you do it like this, look.
You got
Get it? And you,
What are we?
can I show y'all?
We are such a dumb species. Look what you can do to cats. That's what the aliens are doing to us. Look how we can fly through the earth. Isn't it fun?
I thought we were going to have to blur something out, but Edgar's a
no.
girl, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
All right, so you said, what kind of cat is this?
it's a Scottish Straight.
And
So
is
they-
that the kind you wanted?
Yeah, well, I wanted a Scottish fold or a British short hair, but these cats, they don't have the folded ears, so it's like they're like a mix of the Scottish and the British short hair.
So the British have the folded ears?
No, the British have the straight ears, and they have like really fat faces, and then the Scottish have the folded ears.
So that's
But
a
she's
British cat.
Well, she's a Scottish Straight.
She's
So
she's
straight
together.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's straight.
Sorry, that was confusing.
Gotcha.
She's
No.
straight, but she has a not straight name.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That was where I was at. What's the value of a cat like that?
I didn't pay this, but they go from like $1,500
Oh.
with the folded ears, $2,000. So
I think that
Bro, I need to get in the cat game.
I think Edgar might be missing in a couple hours. Go sell him on the black
I've
market.
been flipping shoes. I need to start flipping cats.
yeah,
What am I doing? Go pick up the strays.
It's true. You could buy a couple,
Absolutely,
$4,000, get two,
yeah,
and breed them.
One litter,
Yeah.
have your money
and then
back.
boom.
yeah.
How many cats do cats have in litters?
I feel like they have way more than dogs, so I feel like they have like 6 or 8.
So, I mean, yeah, you got 10 grand.
10 grand in one litter. But
Is that what you're trying to do?
no, I would have to pay for the breeding rights. The lady who sold her to me, she would make me pay for the breeding rights. And I already only paid like $400 for her. So
Oh, you got a deal.
yeah, because I was like,
It's a
hey,
Salvage World discount.
That's a Salvage World steal right there.
I was like, I want a cat. I'm very poor. I will give her a good home.
Oh, you poor mouth there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, well, she was like, these cats are worth $1,500, but you seem like a very nice girl. And I was like, I'm a very nice girl.
Give it to you at cost.
I will pick her up and shake her and laugh about it. But I'll eat her
Call her
food as
Edgar.
well.
I think it's
Ooh.
nap time. That's a nap look. If I've ever seen a nap look, that's the nap look right there.
Absolutely it is.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, it's good.
It's very
It's
good.
good. So when you take your Benadryl, I mean, you get tired? I mean, does it like affect
no,
you? Kind of used to
if
it?
I'm up and moving, if I'm doing
Really?
stuff, I'll be fine. Yeah.
Man, I start feeling like numb, like kind of like ugh.
Now, if I take
Yeah.
one at night, yeah, I mean, it's
Just
gonna,
stop. Yeah.
it's gonna get me. But no, it'll take away the symptoms. Hopefully,
Yeah.
my eyes will still swell.
Yeah.
My eyes will still water. It'll be fun. Like this, I'm sitting here thinking how entertaining this really will be or could be for people watching.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're watching it happen right in front of you, and there's
Yeah.
nothing anybody can do about it.
No.
So
But I do brush her. I brush her every day. I put the
Thank you.
hypoallergenic. She eats it, so you
She
might
eats
not be.
the
eats,
what?
Eats like Purina has a line for people who are allergic to cats.
I don't understand how the food
It has
helps.
basically it has this egg powder in it, and it's chickens that are exposed to cats.
You ever think about how people figured that out? Like, who figured that out?
Somebody who was really allergic but loved a cat.
I don't know if it's true.
I
Chickens
was
and
about to
cats
say,
together?
I believe they didn't figure it out.
I'm on that side.
They're just like,
I don't
So
think
you're-
it's true.
you're
there's a
School
market.
skeptic
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
And it's definitely way more expensive than regular cat
Yeah.
food.
Yeah,
So
They've monetized the allergies.
exactly.
You just don't believe it.
I don't.
I
What would
think
it take for you to believe it?
I'm not going to believe it.
A guy in a lab coat?
Nothing.
Well, the reason I say
president?
that is no. The reason I say that is because I've found myself at times like thinking about being around a cat, and like in my brain I start to think or feel itchy, like that kind
so.
of
It's
stuff.
it's your
So-
brain.
well, that's what I'm saying. So if you flip that and put it on the other side of, hey, I'm feeding you food
Oh,
that
It's just
so-
a big placebo effect.
yeah, the whole thing is. But
So
this is
allergies
not.
aren't real.
No, this is definitely real.
I think that's what you said.
It's basically-
Micah, you heard it here. Micah said allergies are fake
Hot take.
news.
That's it.
Hot take.
That's the hot take.
Sick of the allergy industry.
No, I definitely think allergies are real, but then I think for people that are susceptible to them, I think when they smell grass or something, it triggers something or the idea
Yeah.
of it.
Aw.
And like when a cat gets closer to me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's happening.
Let's see what she does.
Oh, it would be awesome if it just sat there.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Come
Oh,
on,
it's
Micah.
coming to me.
Go to Micah.
Come on.
Go. Go.
How do you call a cat? Is it the whole
Oh,
here,
you
kitty
just-
kitty?
You don't really. I
Okay.
just be like,
You just decide if it wants.
But it's too he
she.
Zora is too curious right now.
I should have brought her little catnip toys, and then she could be playing with it. I should have.
Yeah,
Get her high. Let's go.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Catnip, it gets them fired up or it
Yeah.
chills them
So
out.
right?
it gets them really fired up at first, and then they'll like pass out. So.
But I
guess-
mean, it's essentially like weed for cats, huh? Cats.
Yeah, I think so.
Like to a certain extent.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Have you tried that also, Megan?
But
Have
do you like ever like
Yeah.
No, I haven't done that.
no?
Just the treats.
Just the treats.
Yeah.
It happens though. You know, I got a funny story about my father-in-law. Whenever they lived here, one year they had a lab, big lab, and so every year we'd make Christmas cookies, and still do. And so anyway, apparently, I think somebody either made some dog treats. If Brent was here, he could give more detail. But it either made treats or they had dog treats, and we just put like icing on them. You know,
Okay.
so it's like homemade Christmas cookies, and you put all the decorations on it. Anyway, so the thing is that somebody put like the dog treats right next to the
Yeah.
human cookies. You know,
Yeah.
and so Mr. Mark. He walks out from the back room, comes up, and obviously there's Christmas cookies, which there always are. So
Yeah.
he grabbed one and ate one and said something about it. I can't remember if he said they're good or if they were a little dry or something like that. But anyway, eventually somebody was like, "Wait, which ones did you eat?" He's like, "These." They're like, "That's the dog treats." He ate a dog cookie.
Good
So,
for him.
yeah. So it happens, you know.
It does happen.
But he ate the whole thing. He didn't realize
I
it.
don't remember if he ate the whole thing or not.
Okay.
Those details, my brain doesn't retain that level of detail.
Yeah.
Nadine would be able to tell you every single thing that happened and who walked in where and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one time also. You know how they have the bacon dog treats?
Oh yeah,
I was young. I thought that was just regular
yeah. It smells
bacon.
good.
Yeah.
Kind of smells good. And
Do
then
you remember anything about the
It
taste?
was a little tough. And then I was like, I was like, what is this? And my mom was like,
No, just don't do that. That's not. It's not it.
That is kind of it's always an icebreaker conversation, but it's what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? And I feel like you just opened that up. Would you say the dog treats are the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Well, I feel like this is good, but a lot of people think this is controversial. I like to put mayonnaise on my black eyed peas. So.
I've never done that. I have no. I'm having to process what that would be like.
Yeah.
I haven't had black eyed peas since I was like 12. So
Yeah. Oh, I love black eyed peas.
Really?
And lima beans.
So that's the weirdest thing you've eaten. Have you guys? I mean, like when I say that, you think anything about that?
okay, so I went to Cuba about 2019, like 3 months before the world shut down, and went to Cuba, and we went to. If you don't know about Cuba, it's a pretty tough place to live. All right, and so the food there is it's bad.
Oh.
It's bad, real bad. So like every restaurant, it's like pretty much any actual restaurant is like government owned pretty much, and so the food level is hard. So you go there, you sit down. We went to this cool looking restaurant. It's like the only restaurant in this town that we were in. We go and it's like, oh, this is nice. This is normal looking.
Yeah.
We sit down, look at a menu. I don't understand half of what's on it, right? But I'm like, they got pizza, they got all kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
They got sandwiches. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll be fine. And then we start wanting to order certain things. They had nothing.
Oh.
They had nothing. There's nothing.
Oh, like in stock?
Yeah, in stock.
Wow.
So like that's just the norm over there. It's like, oh, all these things. No, we have 3 things out of 25 things. So anyway, long story short, I had to order lasagna.
I would never have ordered this.
They had like 3 things, so I ordered lasagna.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
It's lasagna.
It's cheese and tomato sauce,
Okay.
and right.
Yeah.
It's just kind of come on.
I
You
guess
get
so,
the pasta
Yeah.
sheets of whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It comes out. I'm like, that looks okay. It's a little watery. There's a lot of water around
watery
it.
lasagna.
But
yeah.
It's, I mean, come on. It can't, it was as bad as possible. It was the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life. I took one bite and almost gagged. I was like, I can't eat this.
Yeah.
I literally can't eat this.
Yeah.
And so I had to swap with somebody who had a sandwich. The sandwich was horrible. It was just bad food, man. And so I eat some of the sandwich as much as I could. And it's actually Ken Timms was there. And Ken and then Jacques Pichu. So they're there, and one of them ate the lasagna, ate it all. I think it was Ken. He ate all. I was like, how can you eat that? He's like, I was in the military and da 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 da. He didn't eat anything. I was like, my body was like, no. That was the worst thing that I've ever attempted to eat. I couldn't believe how bad it was.
Okay.
It was like Fancy Feast. It was probably like that. It's that level.
Yeah, that's
I would
wild.
never eat
It
Fancy
was
Feast,
seriously.
though.
It
Just clarifying.
once I ate it, I was like, this is animal grade food in America. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Joel, weirdest thing.
I don't know the weirdest thing.
Okay.
Something that I do enjoy that a lot of people don't is like curry. Like really good curry. So my dad's side of the family, his dad is from Fiji, and so they eat all that stuff. Dude, Edgar is scaling the couch.
Yeah. That's why I looked over here because she was messing with the cord.
That's crazy. I look over and it's Edgar sitting by Jordan like, "What's up, bro?"
Anyway.
Yeah. So I like curry,
Yeah.
chicken curry,
Curry.
all that good
You know,
stuff.
I never had curry.
In South Dakota, we went to a restaurant and ordered something called Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh no,
Oh.
dude.
I didn't know what it was.
can't
You
do
guys
that.
know what it is.
Yeah.
What
And,
is it?
Well, let me explain it
Okay.
to you, Megan. It came out, the order of Rocky Mountain oysters came out, and it was 2 giant meatballs
Oh,
on the
my
plate.
God. Okay.
And I was like, I mean, these are giant meatballs. I mean, that's what it is. Anyway, honestly, started eating it, and it literally tastes like a meatball. And I was talking to my dad because he had some too, and he knew what Rocky Mountain oysters were. And long story short, these were buffalo testicles.
Wow. Was it?
I stopped eating them. So here's the tough
I
part
was
for
not
me.
expecting that.
They didn't taste terrible.
Really?
Yeah, that would be the
It was
worst.
like ground beef, though. It tasted just like ground beef, like a regular meatball.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it did. I mean,
They probably
seasoned well.
cooked it. Yeah, they
I
probably
mean, it
cooked
was.
it a
Yeah.
certain way
Yeah.
to make it like.
But yeah, It touched me. Oh, here it is.
It touched me. Oh,
No,
it touched me.
I promise you, if there's anyone that it will probably sit on lap, it's yours.
I promise you it won't.
A few moments later.
Oh man!
Remember that whole mental allergy thing?
Yeah.
It's here.
Just boom.
No, I literally, maybe this is rude, but I literally think you can just like be like, I'm not allergic, and then.
So you're a
Oh, you're
Making a
manifester.
manifest.
Yeah,
of
your
it.
name
No,
claim it.
don't say that.
I mean, that's what you just did.
We didn't
Yeah.
say it.
I am
Speak
not
it in-
allergic.
I just think it's the placebo.
You speak it into existence.
I mean, but like, I don't think it is for him. Like, it's been
No, I
consistent
believe-
for.
Oh no, I'm allergic.
Oh no, no, no!
I've done
I
allergies.
know he's
That's-
definitely.
yeah.
I know he's definitely allergic, but I think for some people they can't. Like, I don't know. They like. I watch so many videos that people are like, I'm not allergic anymore. I'm like, how?
Well, they might have just grew out of it.
Yeah, it does
Maybe.
change. So
Maybe
I
they're-
used to be super allergic to wasps. Like if I got
Oh.
stung, I would like my leg would be the size of my thigh right now.
Really?
But yesterday, cutting the grass, or last week,
I would hope that your leg would be the size of your thigh.
no, my arm. Sorry, did I say leg?
Arm, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we
Anyway.
are sassy today. I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
are. Sorry, guys.
So many sorries.
Yeah, exactly. No, last week I got stung by a wasp while I was cutting the grass, and I was like, okay, here it comes, like on the shoulder, and nothing ever happened. So I was like, okay, I guess I grew out of that.
Oh.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lord
Interesting.
delivered me.
Way to
Next
go,
week
man.
on this episode, we'll have wasps.
Yeah.
Look at that pet wasp.
His name is Tina.
Yeah. So Megan, worship
Yep.
staff. What's your?
There it
Sorry.
is. Touch him, Jesus. Touch him, Jesus.
Megan heard it, and she said she went.
That's a clip. Oh,
I really didn't know where it came from though. I was like, is that someone's stomach or?
You ever heard of the gift of tongues?
Let's talk about most awkward worship moments so far that we've been a part of.
Just, I feel like this has happened to me so many times. The pro presenter board going out, and then I'm just like,
Just hum through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most awkward worship moment I've been a part of recently was actually in Long Beach too. It was about a year ago.
Yeah.
I was maybe I think maybe it was this year. I was playing bass, and so I was preaching, got done, went back to play bass, and we were doing Christ Be Magnified, the bridge of it. That's how it was gonna start. So I hit play in the tracks, or Dubes hit play in the tracks, and whoever was leading missed the cue, and Christ Be Magnified, the bridge. It's
you need to
like
be there.
every line is different,
Yep.
and it's
Yeah.
consistent, and the lyrics. And once you miss one, if you don't skip forward,
Yeah.
You're right.
you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pro Presenter was waiting for the vocal to
Yeah.
start singing, and so Pro Presenter was behind. Tracks are going. Oh, it's done. Like there's no
Yeah.
recovering.
Yeah.
So the person was like trying to catch up. They couldn't. Finally, I was just like, stop.
Yeah.
So like, let's go and stop. I was like, just go and tell them. Basically, we're gonna restart.
Yep.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, and that's what was said. And then we restarted, and it just never really
Yeah.
recovered.
The old
Dang.
confidence was taken away.
Oh yeah,
Aw.
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
fun.
Those are two tough worship
I
moments.
cussed one
Yeah.
time.
Oh.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I did not know this.
I cussed one time. I went to sing. This is about 10 years ago now. 10 years, 12 years. I know it was a Jonathan Stockstill song that I was singing, and it was like an altar call, like response time.
Yeah.
And I crossed up 2 words, and I said the D word. I said damn.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Did
not
you
that
sing
bad.
it? Did
yeah,
you
we
sing
sing the
it?
Bible. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, and I just had to keep going.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I kept going, and then I was like, yep, I just cursed. Just cursed.
Isn't it amazing what happens in your mind when that happens? Because you have to keep moving, but in your mind, I'm like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Should I
Yep.
do something? Oh my goodness! And,
Just
but you're
ignore it.
still moving. You're still
Yeah.
moving. And then, so if you do something like that in a message, you're going to start getting texts
Yes.
immediately from your buddies.
Yeah.
You just said a bad word. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I a few months ago that happened to me. I said something, and it was it was last year actually, and it was really awkward. It really it was one of those things that it was kind of like a joke, and then it was like I was transitioning into the next point or whatever, and just in that transition, I said something, and I could not look up because if I looked up, and looked at anybody, it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
You know, it was accidental, of course, but it was really like, yeah, it wasn't a cuss word. It was just like a phrase that with the previous thing that was said put together was just not.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to say.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I just kept my face down, kept my nose down, and read the next part of the paragraph there in my notes, and just act like it never even happened.
Yep, I get it.
But I looked up, and I saw people. That was 30 seconds later. I looked up, and I literally locked eyes with a couple people, and they're like, still.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad.
Just keep
Yeah.
moving.
They were just waiting for you to look up.
They were. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we heard it.
yeah. Oh yeah, and same thing. I text
Edgar is
message the
in
whole
the
day.
table, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Edgar is in jail.
Dude.
That's amazing. I didn't think she'd get in. I saw her trying, but I was like, yeah, it won't happen.
I'm surprised she got in too.
I hope
Yeah, I'm
she's
not sure
smart.
how.
I don't know.
Which level?
I think it was the second level because she tried to get
Oh.
in here. Easy, bro. Easy. Couldn't make it. Oh, this is gonna be fun now.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that?
It's fun time.
You like that?
Play.
All right, Joel. Worship moment. Give us a bad one.
moment. The worst one I can think of off the top of my head was, I think 3 years ago now, we were streaming a message. So all the pastors were in Gulfport for the first of the year. And that's back when we still used Prime on the iPad. And the whole first song was like super electronically driven.
Oh yeah.
And it did the thing where it sounded like a skipping CD, like halfway through the song. And so we stopped it, and like that's okay. It's like, okay, Prime's messed up before, no big deal. Stopped it. It's like, all right, we're gonna start over.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. First song, we're gonna worship. Blah blah blah. It's okay. Does it again, like halfway through the song, and stopped it, and then had to be like, we're just gonna go to the next song right now, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry that happened. That was the worst moment.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, there's a lot of just weird worship times, weird worship moments, and you know, I mean, you got to think there's, especially now, 4 locations. Like you compound the opportunities nowadays for awkward moments, you know, and all the technology and stuff. I think in the history of Northwood, though, I think the worst worship moment ever was. I was really young and didn't know what was going on, but my dad has told the story many times. And I don't think I've told the story of the podcast, but I think it was like a Wednesday night service, and the band's, obviously up there trying to get going, trying to get a song going, and cannot start the song. Just couldn't, everybody couldn't link up. It just wasn't happening. So they go for it, and it just fall apart. So my dad, what he would do, because the worship was so bad, is he would close his eyes, and was his posture.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
Just cover the face, act like you're praying, but really you're just trying not to say something. And all of a sudden, with his eyes were closed, and he's in deep prayer.
Yeah.
He hears the guitar all of a sudden like kick into gear, and like start the song. The band gets going, you know, and all of a sudden the song's going, and my dad's like, "Wow, okay, yeah." And he opens his eyes to see the visitor who had come to church that night.
Are you
on the
kidding
stage
me?
with the guitar, started the song.
Oh my God.
After the song got going, handed the guitar back to the guitar player and walked off the stage. He never came back.
Aww.
That, my friend, I don't know how it could be any worse.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd take the guitar back.
Just like,
I think I would go sit down.
Yeah, I think you hit him with the old Garth Brooks at that point. Smash the guitar on the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in one sense out of order. In another sense, it's like that's how out of order it already was. That his out of order was more in order than the order that was already in there. That's how bad it was.
Dude, props to him for bailing you guys out.
Yeah.
Like, that's a wild spot to be in.
Isn't that crazy?
Be like, oh, I can fix this. First time
bad.
here, I'll go fix
First time here.
Have there ever been moments for you guys, not where you did that, but you're in some other worship spot, some other spot that you're not in, it's not in control, but like you are just a attender and you're like, I want to get involved with this so bad. Like, have you been on the other side of that? And what's the frustration?
I feel like there's just been times where like I've seen people struggling and I'm like, I want to help, but like I know exactly, like if I could just like have that little voice in their ear being like, dude, say this, do this right now. But
Would you ever step onto the stage and do that though?
If it was like falling apart, but I would like probably just go to like the band director mic and be like, "Hello,
Hey, this is Edgar's mom.
But no, I mean, I haven't really experienced anything like they always seem to like get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've had one of those moments in the room where it just couldn't happen. And
Yeah.
you just watch. You're just like, man,
Yeah.
I hate it that you're going through this, but I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how this plays out. Good
Yeah.
for you. There's been several moments because church is so online right now, and so I'll watch and just cringe
Yeah.
and just hope it gets better, and it never.
Yeah,
Like when
online is bad.
People do a lot of songs like way too fast. Is
Yeah.
what I see a lot.
Uh-huh.
All
Like,
these clicks.
I'm like, bro, you're struggling. Like, you need a click.
Yeah.
Please use a click. And it's always people that are like anti using a click because it needs to
Yes.
be more organic. I was like, bro,
Need a flow.
this is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been in I mean, I've always typically been here
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the stage, part of the worship. So I've been a part of a lot of weird, awkward, just train wreck moments. But as far as being in the crowd at a place that
Yeah.
I wasn't, involved in, and it's really, really bad or something like that, that I would, no. But I've been in a lot of moments here where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this could be a lot better,
Yeah.
But it's also, there's a difference. There's a level of like, this could be better,
Yeah.
but it's like it's good, and then there's like this need not here other than the guy that had to get
Yeah.
up and start the song. But as far as like it's really bad and I wish I could help, like I haven't felt that
Yeah.
level. I mean, I was probably when I was like 7, 8, 9, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But since then, I don't, Brother Paul
Yeah.
did a good job of being pretty consistent and having a good solid team, and since then we've just always had I think our worst day is still, and worst day, what I mean by that is like technically speaking,
Yeah, I
all
understand.
that kind of stuff. It's still like not it's
not
not the norm,
terrible.
at least, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There we
For
go.
sure.
There we go.
So we're talking about bad worship moments or potentially bad. We've talked in the past about some just powerful worship moments, but I guess I'm not asking what's a powerful worship moment that you've recently been aware of, but as a worship, because all of you lead worship, as worship leaders, are those moments like obvious when it's like there's just something extra taking place right now? Like as a person that's in the crowd worshiping, it seems like there's moments in worship services like this is just, I don't know a good way to say it apart from it's larger than life or God's here with us. What is that like on the stage for you? How do you facilitate those moments, or are you aware of those?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, I think most of the time, you're aware of it. I have been guilty of times where I'm kind of just going through the motions. Like, I'll just sing the song. And then you look up and you're like, oh, this is way bigger than the song that we're singing right now. And you see people's response. And so then I've had a few of those where it's like, oh, I'm not taking this as seriously as I should, or leading it the way that I should,
Yeah.
and giving it that reverence that it deserves. But then most of the time you can feel like when you get into a song, it's like, oh, people want to worship with us today. And for me, that's what a lot of it is people actually not just staring at you and singing with you.
Yeah.
And you feel it. There's just, I don't know how to describe it besides just the energy in the room where it's like people are fired up to be here.
Yeah. Usually I feel like the times when it's like that, it's like maybe that week, like I had a stressful week or something. And obviously you always want to give it to God, but it's like in those moments where I'm like, just like praying, I'm like, you can, like, this is yours. Like you can have it and it's like when I just give full control and I'll like look up and then I'm like, everybody's like on their knees. I'm like, yeah, this was never about me.
Yeah.
So
is that, as a worship leader, what's your responsibility in that moment? Say you're leading a song and you see that, like, what's your responsibility? Is it, hey, I'm just going to worship right now, I'm going to lead the people in worship? Like, what are you thinking, or what's your goal in that moment as you're leading people in worship?
I feel like you can go about it different ways. Like if like just worshiping, but sometimes I feel like you can feel like inside that you need to like say something or lead it to a certain place. But I feel like whenever like people like deep in worship, I think you should just like you can go even harder, or, there's like several ways you can go about it.
Yeah, I think that whenever people are, I was talking about this the other day. We use the two terms vertical and horizontal.
Yeah.
And so like if vertical would be like us singing to God, and then horizontal is like more of the people
Yep.
side, like us. And so when you're leading worship, it's like, is this a moment to encourage people and or to speak to people, like whether it be in like, come on, let's sing this together, or admonish, read a scripture, do something that is like on this level, or is that actually distracting from vertical? And so if I'm leading worship and I'm in the middle of a song, there's this constant. There's three things going on. There's all the technical stuff that you're having to stay with. What the chords I'm playing, the notes I'm singing, the click, the lyrics, and where are we at in the song? What's coming up? How do I facilitate, help the band continue to move forward dynamically? How am I singing? All that kind of stuff. And in tandem with that, it's also I'm the worship leader. I'm leading the microphones in my face, and so what I say is going to direct people to go a certain direction, or how to sing, or what we're doing in this moment. So I'm setting that precedent, and then also I'm trying to sense whether people need to be encouraged to be focused on a certain part of the song or a lyric, and then like what do I sense that God is wanting to speak to his people? And so when the song, to me, the moments that are like the whole song, or during a song, I'm singing the song, and I'm going to do little encouragements, but I'm thinking, whenever we come down to this little instrumental part, or whenever we get done with this bridge and we're between songs, that's the moment that whatever I'm sensing is going to be, I'm going to say. And sometimes it's don't say anything. Sometimes it's just like, don't tell, the band director knows we're not going to the next song, but we're just going to sit here and I'm just going to play the piano or play the guitar and just kind of like rest. And sometimes saying something distracts people from just, so you know what it is? It's like the old, like, you get done with something and people are kind of like, okay, what's next? And sometimes it's like,
this is
nothing.
This
There
is what the
nothing
goal
next.
is.
Yeah. So like, and give people like 15 seconds to feel the awkward in themselves, and but you normalize the awkward by just saying something like, let's just take a moment. Let's focus our attention on Jesus.
Yep.
Something like that. They're like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, you know? And so it helps people to just kind of be there in the moment. But then it's like, what needs to be said? Does it need to be sung? Mm-hmm. Is it vertical? Is it horizontal? It's a very nuanced, it's a very spiritual moment.
Yeah, a lot of times my thought, most recently my thought has been like, don't get in the way.
Yeah.
Like, just get out of the way. Because there's times where you can come in too prepared with like, all right, in this song I'm going to say this in this transition. And then you do it, and you're like, this was not helping anybody. I just did this so I would look smart or look spiritual.
Yeah.
It's like, this didn't minister
You can
to
tell
people.
the difference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can feel it in yourself, too.
It's like, so the way that I heard somebody say this years ago, and it stuck with me for a long time, is, whenever you give somebody a card, like say it's, to somebody you care about, you give them a card, and they open up the card, and they see the front of it. It's a picture or it's a funny thing or whatever, but it's all somebody that they don't know that wrote that card. And then they open it up, and then there's the canned, like, love you always and forever, and it's all printed on there.
Yeah.
If there is not something written on that card, then the person that receives that card, they look at it and they're like, you just bought a card and literally gave me the card and didn't write anything? Like, what is that about, You look for the handwritten stuff. To me, now sometimes you read a card and it makes you cry. Like, not what the person wrote, but because it's like really appropriate for the relationship or whatever, and it's like, wow, that's really strong words. But still, even you don't just want to love whoever. Yeah, you want at least a sentence, right? Yeah. That's how I think about songs, worship songs. Is I'm gonna sing songs, and I mean what the songs are saying, and I think that first off, we should sing songs that have been theologically thought through and all that kind of stuff, and it's really strong. And so we're going to sing those songs, but I still believe that in that instrumental part or between songs or at the end of a song, when there's a moment, that is our moment as individuals to write some words on a card, like express what's in our heart.
Yeah.
And that could be prayer. It could be a melody. It could be a song. It could be a lot of things. And as a worship leader, the thing that's difficult about a worship leader is that you have a microphone in your face in those moments.
You're right.
And so the reality is that if there's nothing in me, then there's nothing that really comes out of me. And it's like a person that teaches, like a preacher, a pastor. It's you have your notes, but if you just get up and read your notes, it's kind of dead.
Yeah.
It's what is the inspiration? What is the thing that God is speaking to you that is the thing that really like is the hook,
Yeah.
And so whenever you're leading worship, it's tough because you're just kind of thrown out there too.
Well, and you're in such a public spot that really your private life influences the public platform in a huge way. And like you said, there's nothing worse than being empty when you're supposed to be full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that's from preaching, but also I can imagine worship leading as well.
It's the same thing.
And when you're full, it's amazing the way the Lord works too. Is oftentimes what God's been ministering to you with is the things that come out. It's like, this is so appropriate. This is going to build the body. But when you're empty, you've got nothing to give, and it affects the whole church.
Yeah.
It affects
And
everybody.
you're going to have good weeks and bad weeks.
Absolutely.
You're going to have moments where, I've found that I typically I minister better whenever I am really going through hard things. That's actually when I minister the best because I'm really broken. I'm not sure of myself in like a prideful way. You know what I'm saying? Like in a good way. Not sure of myself. It's not. There's not over self-confidence, and still healthy, but just going through some hard things. Because God speaks to you in those times.
Yeah.
And so you're also able to empathize more. I'll say this, one thing that I've thought about a lot is when I lead worship is what's this. Sometimes we're singing a song that is it's like It Is Well With My Soul. A song like that. And I might not be going through something that's like really tough. So I'm not singing from a place in that moment of desperation, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in a major trial. I could think back to something that I've gone through, of course, but I tell you what I've done many times in my life is I've thought about people that I'm close to who are going through hell.
Yeah.
And I will sing the song and I will pray the prayers and I will minister in that moment like I am in their shoes.
Yep.
And I will sing and pray the things that they at that moment are struggling to sing and pray because maybe they don't know if they really believe that at that moment or they're struggling with it. Is God good? I will sing of the goodness of God. Sang that song many times where I'm singing from a place of God is so good.
Yeah.
Look at all the blessings in my life or whatever. And it's like, but actually singing that song from the pit, that's where the power is in that song.
Yeah.
Yep.
The verses, what it's talking about. And so sometimes I'm looking out in the crowd and I'm like, yeah, I know this just happened with your kid or your spouse or your job or whatever the case is. I was talking to a guy this past Wednesday at prayer who he's been sick for many years and he had his leg cut off. He had to get his leg removed, and he's getting a prosthetic and stuff. And I'm talking to this guy, and his faith in God is like level 10.
Yeah.
But he's in a wheelchair right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's been suffering. And but it's like I'm looking at this guy, and it's like he's learned how to actually say God is good by being in a pit. We think that it's being on the mountaintops is where we say that, but it's actually in the pit where we, in the valley is where we learn that God is faithful and good.
Absolutely. Well, we see it all through the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so often just in faith and in Christianity, we find ourselves praying things not to happen, which is admirable.
Yeah, right.
But
of course.
But
Well, it's normal. It's like, just of course, we don't want.
nobody
we don't
wants to
suffer.
go through pain, but we see all
Lord, make
throughout the
life
Bible,
terrible.
Yeah.
we see God being present in the moment. I mean, the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he was with them in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's where he ministered. I mean, I don't think Daniel wanted to go to the lion's den, but God was with him in those moments. So, for one thing that we do on Sunday mornings is during worship, it shows scriptures that align with certain songs. For me, now I have the benefit of it, but usually during rehearsal that morning, I'll just sit in there and I'll go look at the 3 scriptures. I'll just read them as the songs are going, and it makes that worship experience for me. It's totally different.
Yep.
It's like, God's ministering through the word, through worship. It's working together. But again, it's because I'm being filled with content that's illuminating or illustrating the worship as well. So
Yeah, when you know the word and you read the word, then you know that when you're singing those songs, you're singing the word.
Yeah.
It's like some people like songs. They're like, "Oh, that's a really good song," and they don't realize that it's a really good song because it's theologically rich, or it's truth.
Yeah.
It's not that it's just lyrics that rhyme. It's truth, and so what they're connecting with is the truth, the deep, the roots of those lyrics. And but whenever oh my gosh, that's Revelation 4, or that's
we did
John
that song
this.
All Hail King Jesus,
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah.
song is called, and one of the scriptures is Revelation, and it talks about they're spinning around the throne and singing Holy, Holy is the Lord
The
God Almighty.
elders.
Yeah.
And then we get to that bridge of that song, and you just read that scripture,
Yeah.
and it's the reality that in this moment I am literally joining with heaven,
Yeah.
glorifying God. It's like, this is what I was created to do.
Yep.
And then when we can do that for the whole church, those are the special moments for me as a participant in worship, but also watching you guys facilitate those worship moments where you connect us to God. You don't connect us to you. I think that's the best worship leader.
I think that is probably one of the biggest hurdles in church. More like contemporary worship settings, is the difficulty for some people to cross the concert vibe.
Yep.
To what I'm saying, to cross like the whole you're on TikTok all week or whatever, and you see concerts, and so you see a person on stage with a handheld mic, and they're expressive, they're doing that kind of stuff, and they're singing love songs or entertainment songs or whatever the case is. There's lights, all that kind of stuff, and then people come to church and their brain's already programmed to see it as, okay, that's the talent on the stage, and they are entertaining me, and because it's just our culture, it's just part of it, and then it's like, no, this is not that, but I can understand how you might be crossing that up, but that's not what's going on. For me, I grew up in a contemporary setting my whole life, and so for me, I don't have a problem that I don't get confused in that. I don't get distracted by that. I'm like, well, there's worship leaders, and they're on stage, and yes, they're standing in front of us, facing us, and they are, they're there, and there's nice lights, but I understand all of that is just to create an environment where all of us together, like, they're not better than me because they're on the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
They might be more talented than I am, but
In that area.
good.
At this one thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. Talented in as far as singing or playing an instrument, but that isn't. They're worshiping. I'm worshiping. They're just, somebody's got to lead it. You know what I'm saying?
So what would you say to a skeptic that might find themselves there might be someone in a worship environment that's like, this is all about that. How? Because I know
I would say, okay, how should we do it?
Well,
That would be my question. How should we do it? And then they would say, well, let's look at the Bible. I'd be like, we can look at the Bible, no electricity.
yeah.
We can just go round and round about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I would say,
I'm thinking about the pure skeptic, and that might be but I'm thinking about like somebody that doesn't want to be like that, but their brain or culture's just built them to think like that. What are some ways they can overcome those obstacles or cross those hurdles that or is it just straight up laying that thing down and saying, I choose to participate or believe, or because I'm not an ultra skeptical person,
yeah,
but I want to help skeptics that find themselves, that maybe the Holy Spirit's drawing them, but they just find their brain saying, "Oh, geez, like this is all about the lights, smoke."
I think at a certain point, that's on you to lay it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're too focused on others' intent instead of your own heart of worship in that moment. It's like you can look
cynical. So what? That's what others' intent.
Yeah.
And what you
Those
were
are
saying,
two-
I was like, that's cynicism,
You're
which
right.
is like some
It's
people might
because
say
it's about them.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. The whole talent thing, or the person on
Yeah.
stage, and that's so there's a negative way of looking at that, which is
You're
like,
right.
oh, that person just really. Well, and you know what? Hey, there are going to be people out there who.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
does happen.
Yeah.
But to assume that everyone is like that
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
somebody did it, it's like that's not
As
fair.
part of my sanctification process, if I'm a cynic, I might have to lay those things down, like what you're saying, and trust.
Yeah, my brain just goes to bypass any of that. It's just like, okay, if that's what you feel, what is the what do we do? What's the answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a whole, obviously there's a lot of controversy
Yeah.
about all of this all over the place, and it's like, well, so let's just. I guess the one thing that is tough for me is like, there's a way to break down anything that is higher level technical / talent / quality in church. There's the cynical culture that we live in undermines and demeans it. And so my question is, well, where do we as the church actually express good worshipful art?
Yeah.
And are we just not allowed to, as believers in Jesus, are we just not allowed to have anything that's well done? Can it like
Yeah.
where is the line? It's like, well, we're just not going to have lights. Well, there's
Yeah.
people who say, I mean, they don't have lights and then they have great sound. They probably spent more on sound than they did lights, and or the musicians. Well, it's like you could literally go to every single expression, and at some point, somebody's going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And so you can't respond. You can't live life responding to
Yeah.
that because you'll have
It's
you'll
never
have
going to
nothing.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll never do anything except respond the whole
And then
time.
it's not about God at all. We need to be careful on how we are cynical or critical of
Yeah.
people's
Yeah.
expression. So I don't know.
It's true because the expression back in the day, we went to a conference last year where they talked about the architecture of buildings back in the day of old churches used to be gorgeous. Like the most beautiful buildings, stained glass, paintings everywhere, all to tell the story of the gospel and to create an artistic expression.
Yep.
So yeah, now it's lights and screens and cameras, but as long as the motive is the same, you just have to trust that people are doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and if they aren't, it's not your job to fix it anyway.
It's
Not
Like,
on you.
The church
They don't
has-
have to answer to you.
Yeah.
the church has adjusted the way that where it puts its money. See, the church, used to put generations of money
Yeah, you're
into
right.
the architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the church generally builds good buildings, but spends a lot less money on the buildings and puts more into what goes into the building.
the
Yeah,
gear.
you're right.
No matter what expression you get involved in, whether you go to like super simple, broken down, or you go to like super complicated, very high church feel, whatever the lane is that you're in. There's people who start doing it for the right reason and then sometimes fall into doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Or some people that are doing it for the wrong reason and then through repentance and change end up doing it for the right reason.
I feel like something you could also say to a cynic is like, I feel like a worship leader's number one thing is we have to fight for humility, and we have to fight and the world is naturally like selfish and prideful, but if obviously we have to fight for that, but if you are asking God to move, whether the worship leader is, maybe they're not in it for the right reasons, but I feel like if you are like truly asking the Lord to move, he can move in any environment. He can move in any. It's not about the person singing it was never about the person singing. It was about the presence of God.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Someone else
Yeah.
can't control your worship.
No.
Like,
Right.
Or the outcome of your interaction with God. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, to say I don't think they're doing it for the right reasons, and therefore I'm not going to worship. I can't worship God in this moment. In a worship, in a musical environment. It does say something. I've been in services where the person preaching, maybe I'm in a conference or something like that, right? And the worship's incredible because, but it gets to the conference and maybe there's like, it's like a 3-day conference and there are like 10 different speakers. I've had to fight through that because I've had certain either preconceived ideas about someone or I know the behind the scenes about that person. And when they first come on the stage, I'm defensive, I'm frustrated. I mean, there's been times where I'm literally like, I don't agree that this person's on the stage right now.
Yeah.
There's 10 people here. That guy, I don't think he should be up there. And I've had to sit there, and that's with what I would consider to be in some cases straight up sin. Like I think they were just literally in sin and should not. I think they're disqualified. I mean, we're talking at that level right now. Okay, not just like personality or style. It's like, no, I think it potentially is sin. And I've sat there and I've listened. And then you have the whole other side, which is just theological differences. Like I don't believe theologically like they do. But I'm sitting here listening. And I'm not the guy to get up and walk out. That's just not me, But I've sat there and I've said, God, after like through gritted teeth, right? God, speak to me through them,
And how often does God?
Every single time.
I love it.
Every time that I have had that attitude in the beginning of the teaching or the sermon, I've even had it on YouTube videos. Like, I mean, to that level. God has spoken to me. There's been something that they said. I'll be like, no. And then all of a sudden they say something. I'm like, that's true.
Dang it.
That's true.
And it was really good too.
It was really good. I was at a conference a few months ago, and there was things that were going on that I just didn't agree with. But it was interesting how the things that I disagreed with in a weird way did lead to moments that I fully agreed with.
Yeah.
And things that were said that are, they're still with me right now.
Yeah.
And I was cynical, I was skeptical, all those things.
Yep.
But you said humility. But I cannot be skeptical and cynical to the degree that I will not receive from what God has and is doing in that person's life. I might disagree. Is it sin? It might not be. I might even think it's potentially error. But what if actually my way of looking at it is error?
Yeah.
Too. Like there's this tension in that. We were just saying a couple of days ago about some stuff that's going on. It's like we believe this way, but then this is taking place and it actually kind of looks like that. And it's like, well, I guess we won't know honestly till we stand before God. I don't believe that that's how it is, but man, what if you stand before God and God's like, yeah, you were really wrong about that.
That is how it
and
was.
you mocked it and you were actually wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that always keeps me a little bit quiet, a little bit reserved, a little bit like 80%, not 100% in a lot of things. And that's not lack of confidence or lack of faith. It's just, it might be maturity or wisdom, but also I guess for all of us, it's in those moments where maybe we're tempted to judge someone or be cynical. It's like, let me just withhold 100% of that judgment.
Yep.
Because God can speak through a donkey.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Right? He does in the Bible. He can speak through a lot of crazy stuff. And it's not about the vessel all the time. It's about the spirit of God speaking through whatever it is. The trial, the person, the style that we don't like, the trial or the style. Oh, hey,
man.
Oh,
Woke
sorry. Dude,
Edgar up.
that awoken.
Woken the lion.
That's the baby lion. That's the baby lion of Judah. Dude, we laughed. We had serious conversations.
Yeah.
it's good. There we go. Episode 2.9.
2.9.
We done did it.
Yep.
We done did it.